सो पहला स्पीकर है हमारा साउथ से, हम लेंगे जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, एलएलबी है और रेरा में पूरा प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, सीए विनय त्यागराज। उसके बाद हमारे पास दूसरा स्पीकर है जो नॉर्थ के हैं, एडवोकेट सृष्टि गिरधर। शी इज गोइंग टू स्पीक and give a presentation on the latest judgment of Tata Housing, where on the basis of allotment letter and though agreement was not registered, लेकिन एक कमिटमेंट होने से अगस्त 2018 में पोजीशन देगा, ऐसा कमिटमेंट होने की वजह से एपीलेट ट्रिब्यूनल हैज हेल्ड दैट फुल अमाउंट विद द इंटरेस्ट शुड बी रिफंडेड। उसके बारे में वो केस लॉस के बारे में चर्चा करेंगे और इसका अलग अलग सिनारियो वेयर द रिफंड इज पॉसिबल बिफोर बुकिंग द फ्लैट और बिफोर द रजिस्टर्ड एग्रीमेंट एंड आफ्टर द रजिस्टर्ड एग्रीमेंट, वो अलग अलग सिनारियो चर्चा करेगी। उसके बाद हमारे पास वेस्ट बंगाल से एडवोकेट सुब्रतो रॉय चौधरी हैं। ही इज ऑल्सो एक्सपर्ट इन एंड ऑफ कोर्स वेस्ट बंगाल में आज हाउसिंग इंडस्ट्री रेगुलेशन एक्ट है, हीरा है। However, he will also, he is practicing in RERA also in Chhattisgarh and other parts of India. So he will give his perspective. With these three speakers on the board, now I welcome our southern states. Around 5 states he is handling the RERA. So CA Vinay Tyagraj to give a presentation on important three sections. Section 13, section 11.5 and section 18. Thank you very much. Vinay, over to you.
So let me thank our Ramesh Sarji and also Amit Kumarji for giving an opportunity to share some of my views on section 11, 13 and how it impacts section 18. And also the various judgment and case laws which are all pronounced in a very recent time, as new as a month time, and also one of the important case laws of NCDRC, National Consumer Dispute Resolution Council, also will look into the various aspects of this, and then we'll take some of the question and answer at the end of the session. So my session will goes like this, like section 13, I will be talking on what is the money that to be collected from the home buyer, and also in case of in excess of to be collection agreement to be entered, and also what is the terms and conditions which is part of the agreement for sale. Let also look into the section 11.5, 11 subsection 5. The promoter may cancel the allotment only in terms of the agreement for sale. See, section 11, we are all aware that it is a function and duties of the promoter. As part of the functions and duties of the promoter, one of the subsection talks about how the promoter can cancel the agreement, how we can terminate the agreement once an allottee entered into the agreement for sale. Having said, then we'll come to a very critical and crucial section, section 18, which talks about the compensation. When the compensation is allowed to the allottee, and what are the circumstances, what are the situation to be allowed. So let's look into the section 11, which talks about what is the functions and the
विनय जी आप स्लाइड शो में डालिए ना आपका प्रेजेंटेशन.
So section 11, subsection 5, the promoter may cancel the allotment only in terms of the agreement for sale. It's very important for everybody to aware that either a promoter or a allottee or a professionals, under the act, the termination or cancellation is only in terms of the agreement for sale. There is no other reason other than what is mentioned as part of the agreement for sale is prohibited. See, earlier we had a pre-RERA, we had an option to terminate at own reasons or own whims and fancies. However, post-RERA, it is mandatory that agreement for sale and the terms thereon is only allowed to cancel the allotment. Very purpose of the act is to provide the housing to the allottees or the home buyers. However, home buyers are also equally have a responsibility to behave such a way that where the project would be completed in time. Where the reason is Maharashtra in various judgment and also rulings also pronounced that home buyer should not use the RERA for the purpose of exit from the project. A simple exit from the project will have an impact on the promoter to complete the project and hand over the remaining units to the home buyers. Considering that, so what is permitted under RERA is only to cancel or terminate only in terms of the agreement for sale. That is the first thing first we should understand. So having said, what is the format to be used? Exactly the agreement for sale, which is a format which is the standard, which is prescribed by the respective states, and the same thing should be used. And there cannot be any modification or statutory clauses, including the termination, which is unilateral or against the act, which we should know that, like, even though we use the standard format of agreement for sale, there is no scope and there is no provision for the promoters to use any other classes other than what is classes which is mentioned as part of standard agreement, especially for the termination. We used to have a classes where there is a unilateral condition unilaterally cancelled by the promoters. No more classes are permitted under the existing agreement and also which is against the act. Section 13 of RERA talks about no deposits or advances to be taken by the promoter without first entering into agreement for sale. We are all aware that promoter to collect more than 10% of the unit cost or the apartment cost, first he should enter into agreement for sale, then only he can collect the amount more than 10%. That is section 13(1). What is section 13(2) talks about is what is agreement for sale and what is the format and what are the conditions which is attached to the agreement for sale. So on the screen, you can see that the agreement for sale referred to the subsection 13(1), that is the 13(1), shall be such form as may be prescribed. So it is very important, as I mentioned already, the form which is prescribed by the authority should be the agreement for sale, and no other format and no other particulars, unless which is within the ambit of the permitted part of agreement for sale, and which also specify the particulars of development and other details of the specifications, including the dates and the manner by which the payment towards the cost of the apartment. So mean to say that, like, there will, as a part of the agreement, what are the dates and manner which the payment should be made. So it is very important for the promoter as well as allottees to honor that dates which is mentioned as per the agreement, and promoter to honor the date of the possession which apartment or plot building to be handed over. So it's very important to note that even the dates which are all provided as part of the possession date on which the possession of the apartment. So as part of the standard agreement for sale, the date of possession also should be mentioned, and this possession should be mentioned by due care by the promoter, considering all the development work to be completed within the time which is mentioned, failing which he is held responsible for the delay compensation. And also, in case of any delay or any such delays of handing over will result into compensation by way of interest. So that is also part of the agreement for sale. What is the rate of interest to be provided by the promoter and also allottee? At this point of time, respective states has mentioned what is the maximum rate of interest to be provided. It is not the minimum. Maximum is SBI MCLR plus 2%. That is the maximum rate to be compensated by way of interest, either by the allottee or the promoter. Earlier, pre-RERA, we used to have a different rate of interest for the promoter different, allottee different. Now, whatever be the rate which is prescribed as a part of agreement for sale, that is applicable for both the promoter and allottee, subject to maximum of MCLR plus 2%. However, promoter has an option and discretion to mention the lesser rate of interest than SBI MCLR plus 2% in the to protect himself as well as to look at to give the benefit to the allottees also. Having said, and also it goes on says that promoter to allottee promoter in case of default, as and other particulars may be prescribed. So as other particulars as may be prescribed, which is very much part of the agreement, and agreement talks what is prescribed in case of a termination, and that is only allowed to invoked by the promoters or the allottee. Let us look into section 18, which is very, very critical as a promoter for him to know what is the impact of the business and also for the allotee to also understand what is that is eligible, what is that is compensated, what are the situation and what are the circumstances he can invoke this section. So section 18 talks about return of amount and compensation. So when is this section can be invoked is only the case where the promoter fails to complete or unable to give the possession of the building or the units in the project in case of an apartment or a plot or a building as agreed as per the agreement for sale. So this very important, fails to complete or unable to give the possession of what in accordance with the terms of the agreement for sale. So agreement for sale will have the terms and clauses on which the promoter promised to deliver and allotee promised to honor some of the payment and obligation on his behalf. So with these terms of agreement for sale only, one can invoke the provision of the termination and also file a complaint or seek for a compensation under section 18. Second would be in terms of the discontinuation of the business by the developer, not much to be discussed here. And so what is the option available by the promoter as well as the allotee? In case of the allotee wish to withdraw from the project, or he can continue as an allotee. So option is available to the allotee in case of promoter fails to complete, unable to give possession as per the agreement for sale. He has an option to withdraw from the project. Having withdrawn from the project, what is eligible to claim is one is amount which is paid till date. Second, interest. That interest is as per the agreement for sale. The maximum is SBI plus MCLR 2% plus the compensation. However, compensation changes from case to case basis. Or in case the allotee intend to continue, I am not withdrawing from the project. I am okay to continue in the project, and for whatever be the delay which you are causing for in terms of delivering the project, you pay the interest. However, the difference between withdraw or continuation, under the withdrawal, what is eligible is interest plus compensation over and above the amount he has paid. In case of he continue to be an allotee, what is claim is only an interest. So there is no compensation which is present as part of continuation as an allotee as per section 18. So this is the background which I would like to present to all the participant here to know that section 11 of subsection 5. So termination by the promoter only in terms of agreement. Section 13 which talks about the particulars details of the agreement. Section 18 the in terms of the claiming a compensation in case of withdrawal from the project or continue as an allotee. What is the option available to the allotee and the promoter? So this is what is about the background I would like to place before everyone before we get into the various judgment. Ramesh sir, I'm done with my basics, so we can go with the important decided orders or the discussion, sir.
Vinay,
Yes,
I
sir.
would request you to give your perspective on the Omkar Ventures,
Okay.
the judgment which has been given by Maharashtra Real Estate Appellate Tribunal, where you know um, the Maharera rejected the claim of refund, whereas forfeiture was not granted or it was cancelled. Forfeiture of the amount was cancelled by the appellate tribunal. So you can give the complete perspective about the case law, and then you can also give your perspective on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So I would like to state the facts of the case, which is very
Put in the
recently fact of the case of Rekha Navani versus Omkar Ventures Private Limited. It's a appellate tribunal decision, which is very recently. It's a June 2020. The decision is pronounced by the appellate tribunal. So before I get into further details, let me put the facts of the case for better understanding. So first, the project name is called Lance and Beyond, the phase 2 in Mumbai. And the total consideration of the unit, the apartment is 1.36 crores. So initially the applicant has made 1 lakh rupees and shown the expression of interest. Also has been 6.95 lakhs towards the application as on 30th November 2017. So within 5 days, there is an allotment letter issued by the promoter, that's the builder Omkar Ventures. And as part of this, the channel partner, generally the promoters or builders appoint the channel partners or marketing agency to work and to represent on behalf of them for the purpose of marketing and also sale. So one of the channel partner who is part of the promoter group has promised that in case the applicant fail to get the housing loan, entire money would be refunded. So the same also is communicated through the email by that channel partner on 13th February 2019. However, the applicant, the bank has not sanctioned the housing loan to the applicant for whatever be the reason. So this is a scenario, this is a background of the case. Having bank disallowed or rejected the application for a housing loan, applicant has clearly mentioned that without housing loan I cannot buy the property, and I want my money of booking amount or application money to be refunded by the promoter. So this is the background of the case. So however, the promoter said we will not refund, we will forfeit the 6.95 lakh rupees of the amount and will refund only 1 lakh rupees to you. That is what happened with the case and between the promoter and the allottee. So the applicant has filed a complaint before Maharera, before authority, and authority has clearly mentioned that please stick on to the allotment letter, the terms of the allotment letter. The order which is clearly mentioned by the authority, complainant shall be guided by the terms and conditions of the said allotment letter as agreed between the parties. So this is what the authority has passed the order stating to stick on to the terms and condition. So as part of the terms and conditions of the allotment letter, promoter has clearly mentioned stating that in case of any withdrawal from the project or cancellation of the agreement, so the is eligible to withhold 10% of the unit cost as the termination or the forfeiture cost. So this is what is part of the allotment letter itself. So having said it's part of the allotment letter, that is what is Maharera also passed an order. Please stick on to the allotment letter. Accordingly, the cases, the complaint was dismissed, and the promoter has a chance to retain the whatever be the amount he has forfeited. However, applicant has argued and filed a appeal before the appellate tribunal stating the various facts. So one of the fundamental fact which presented before the appellate tribunal is the channel partner has promised me that he will get the housing loan, or in case if I don't get the housing loan, I'll get the complete refund of the amount. So that is a fundamental thing, and which is also committed through the email. So this channel partner or this marketing agent is working on behalf of the promoter. So whatever be the promises made by the channel partner or the marketing partners are binding on the promoter also. So they cannot say that they are not part of the organization, they're not a part of the promoter. So their claim or their promises cannot be honored. So that is where is the difference which has raised by the promoter also. However, court has made a note of both the argument. And also, even though the allotment letter has a mention about the forfeiture clause, the court has considered, Maharera Appellate Tribunal has considered various clauses as part of the allotment letter while pronouncing its judgment, which is very notable for us also, for us to understand the impact of it. And as a professional, how should we guide to our promoters also, or to our allottees while we give the advice to them. So one thing is, any booking form or the allotment letter or the application, the terms specified in those documents should not be beyond the act or the rules. That means to say that it shall be conformity with the act and the rules. It should be not ambiguous, and it should not be one-sided agreement, one-sided document. So it should not be a dotted line. in case if the customer intend to express some of their opinion, some of their grievances, and it should not be stick on to the dotted line basis. So the appellate tribunal has considered this point as these forms which are all containing that whatever the clauses which should not be unfair and it should not be unilateral. Also, act is a welfare legislation enacted primarily to safeguard the interest of the allottees, and respondent cannot be allowed to act contrary to spirit of the act by diversing the matters or the formats which are ambiguous, unreasonable, and inequitable. So this is a very important thing for us to understand. The allotment letter application form should be in conformity with the act, and also we should have a clarity in terms of what they are mentioning in the form. So it is difficult and one more observation made is it is difficult for an allottee of a common intellect and not familiar with the terminology used in the real estate sector to comprehend implications of such terms used in contractual transactions executed in the form of booking application form or allotment letter. This is exactly a para which I have taken from the judgment, which clearly stated that like common man is not an intellect to understand or familiar with the terminology of the real estate sector. So this is very important for as a allottee also to understand. If you don't understand, please get a consultation from the legal counsel or somebody who can capable of explaining the implication of it. So otherwise they will be end up with having a legal trouble. And also further it has been observed like misrepresentation by the channel partner on behalf of the respondent. Hence the erroneous and whatever be the order passed by the authority, the Maharera authority is not fair, and the final order is delivered by the tribunal stating respondent developer is directed to refund the balance of 6.95 lakhs rupees along with the interest of SBI MCLR plus 2%. So this is what is a order passed by the appellate tribunal. And if you see that one of the fundamental observation of the order is the appellate tribunal has considered this act is a welfare legislation in the interest of the allottee. So it is utmost important for the promoter and the professional to know that always the courts consider the welfare of the allottees while they consider various facts irrespective of the other facts which may be favoring the promoter also. And it is very common in terms of as a legal professional or any other professionals, even the chartered accountant to draft a document which always favoring the promoter one-sided. So any such document which favoring them without an option to take some of the recourse by the allottees may be wrong and may not stand in the court of the law. So this is what is be the observation of the appellate tribunal and also the orders which are passed by the appellate tribunal, which directing the developer to refund the money.